想看车，车型配置晕头转向；想选车，各有说辞一头雾水；想买车，价格黑洞摸不到头脑。
还好有懂车帝 APP， 懂车帝 APP 全能解决车的问题。看车、选车、买车，就上懂车帝 APP。
懂车帝。
他们来到我们的现场，也提醒到场的每一位观众，我们的车手、我们的领导为这一刻已经准备多时了，感谢他们一直以来的付出。所以届时希望用你们劲爆、充满能量的掌声，声动我们整个赛道。好，接下来的时间，我们的舞狮团队即刻要来到我们的现场，让我们掌声欢迎他们！ 掌声送给我们的演艺人上正舞台，让我们一同感受这难忘的盛世。尊敬的各位领导、亲爱的各位来宾以及到场的媒体朋友，还有我们所有的观众朋友们，大家下午好！欢迎各位来到2019中国超级跑车锦标赛 China GT 的舞台，这里是 China GT 宁波站，我是主持人景航，在这里非常开心又一次和各位见面了。那我相信呢，通过马来西亚雪邦赛道揭幕战以后，各参赛队伍已经来到了最佳的竞技表现。那我相信，在今天我们将所有的车手、所有的力量给大家带来最强的表演，你们期待吗？让我们拭目以待。同样呢，跟大家分享一下，2019赛季我们将分为3大组别，经历6个分站，1站邀请赛，奖金更是高达了900万元人民币。那从2016年到今年，我们已经走进了4年了，也感谢我们到场的每一位朋友。下面的时间，我相信全场的朋友一起跟随我，把我们的掌声送给我们的车手，好吗？掌声送给他们。那此刻，我们也欢迎到场的每一位领导来到我们的舞台前方，跟大家一同见面。让我们用最热烈的掌声感谢他们的莅临。他们分别是中国汽车摩托车运动联合会运动专职副主席何建东，欢迎您；上海市汽车摩托车协会秘书长王真勇，掌声欢迎。金港股份副董事长兼联席总裁苗立国先生，掌声欢迎；浙江汽车摩托车运动联合会常务副主席陈一鸣先生，掌声欢迎您；宁波国际海洋生态科技城管委会副主任李建华，掌声欢迎；北仑区文化和广电旅游体育局副局长姚波先生，掌声欢迎；明代集团副总裁孙晓东先生，掌声欢迎；明代赛道管理宁波有限公司总经理刘建全先生，掌声欢迎；米其林亚太赛事总监狄月池先生，掌声欢迎！8848钛金手机总裁周佳，掌声欢迎；百亿国际执行副总陈凡先生，掌声欢迎；金港股份副总裁谢天，掌声欢迎。有请我们几位领导一同来到舞台的前方。那此刻，请全体起立，有请我们全体观众一同起立。马上要开启我们盛大的奏国歌仪式，有请全体观众面向我们的国旗，有请全体领导侧目面向国旗，转身，升国旗，奏国歌。礼毕，观众请就座，礼仪退场。接下来到了我们开幕式最重要的环节，让我们用热烈的掌声，有请中国汽车摩托车运动联合会运动专职副主席何建东先生宣布2019赛季 China GT 宁波站正式开幕。
我宣布，2019中国超级跑车锦标赛宁波站开幕。
朋友们，掌声送给我们的领导。此刻，让我们共同见证盛大的开幕环节。 有请我们的领导来到龙门架前合影留念，见证难忘的起航瞬间。有请我们的各位媒体朋友们拿出你们的相机，来到我们的领导面前。好，我们的老师，请面向我们的媒体朋友，可以吗？3、2、1，记录下这经典难忘的瞬间。再一次感谢我们的各位领导，感谢我们的各位。好，那我们还要再拍一张，来面向我们的各位领导，面向我们的摄影老师。3、2、1。全体的朋友们，再次把掌声送给我们的领导，谢谢，请入席休息。再次感谢各位的莅临。那么此刻呢，2019中国超级跑车锦标赛 China GT 正式起航，有请我们的车手们来到我们的龙门架前面，共同合影，让我们掌声有请。那么此刻有请我们的车手们来到我们的近前。那在来的过程当中呢，我相信大家非常期待他们的莅临。此刻呢，全场的各位来宾朋友们，我们站起来，拿出我们的手机，记录下他们的飒爽英姿。他们也会来到您的近前，跟您挥手示意。也请我们现场的各位来宾朋友们，拿出你们的手机，一同记录。朋友们，给他们一点掌声好吗？好，有请我们的各位车手向前一步。这一刻呢，我们要共同记录一下这难忘的瞬间。当然，每一个瞬间都是弥足的珍贵，每一个瞬间都代表着我们 GT 赛事的起航。再跟大家分享一下子我们宁波站的赛道，全长4.1公里。那这里呢，拥有着23个弯道，这23个弯道当中呢，分为上下弯，上下弯当中最高达到了24是个什么样的状态呢？我们跌宕起伏，我们也迎难而上，车手们将面临严酷的挑战。但是我们感谢天公作美，给大家呈现了这么经典的比赛时刻，也给大家带来了这么好的天气。我们的车手们现在已经来到了龙门架前，我们站到一起来，这样我们所有的车手们面向我们的观众招招手好吗？朋友们，掌声！哇，好，谢谢。来，我们站在一起来，站到中心的位置，面向我们的镜头老师。来，面向我们的镜头老师。来，请接下来呢，我们转身。喂 ，turn one，OK， 转身，面向我们的镜头。那我们将会拍一个大的全景，我们观众朋友也可以挥出手来，因为你也在我们的镜头之中。我们的摄影老师将会通过一个全景的方式记录下这一刻。来，有请我们的车手们向前一步。好，停。面向我们的镜头，全场的各位来宾朋友们、女士们、先生们，让我们记录下这难忘的瞬间。这一刻，2019中国超级跑车锦标赛所有的车手们齐聚一堂。好，我们再拍一张。现场的各位来宾朋友们，让我们把掌声再次送给我们的车手们，谢谢他们。哇，好，谢谢，请回。来到我们的爱车。非常感谢我们每一位车手，在赛道上，接下来他们将要通过自己精彩绝伦的表现，为您呈现最难忘的54青年节。这个54选择来到宁波，选择在中国超级跑车锦标赛2019赛季在宁波站与我们一同度过。我们将全力以赴为您呈现最完美的比赛。朋友们，如果您期待这一刻，让我们一同准备好你们的尖叫呐喊声。在后续的环节当中，车手们将会全力以赴。下面我们把时间交给车手，交给赛道。
各位观众朋友，大家下午好，欢迎来到2019年 China GT 中国超级跑车锦标赛宁波站的比赛现场。 那么我们现在为大家带来的呢是 GT3、GTC 以及单一品牌赛组别的第4回合的决赛。那么在我身后呢，一共有18台赛车准备发车。GT3 组别的杆位呢是在我身后，来自2号车组的 D2 Racing 的廖阳和郭国信。而 GTC 组别的杆位呢，则是由918号的车组郑婉成和周碧煌获得。单一品牌赛车组的杆位呢，则是由来自10号车的 Ben Rouget 和 Simon Chan， 他们也是昨天的比赛的冠军。Hello and welcome to the 2019 China GT Championship for round 4 of the GT3, GTC and single make trophy class. We're right here at the Ningbo International Circuit. Altogether, there are 18 cars behind me ready to take the start. The pole position for GT3 is shared by Coco Shin and Peter Liao from the number 2 D2 Racing AMG. As for the GTC class, pole position is taken by the number 918, shared by Zheng Wencheng and Zhou Bihuang. As for the single make trophy class dedicated to the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup cars, the pole position is taken by the number 10 of Ben Rouget and Simon Chan. But next up, let's have a quick word with the China GT General Manager, Mr. Sky Xie, to discuss the season ahead. 那么接下来呢，我们先和 China GT 系列赛的总经理谢天先生做一个简单的采访。那谢天先生，这位帅哥呢，就是我们的谢天先生。然后谢天先生您好啊，然后
宁波的观众们大家好，大家好。
谢先生，然后我们今年 China GT 的话，对于我们来讲的话，也是一个非常重要的一年。China GT 19年第一次走出国门，而且呢，现在有这么多的亚洲的豪强以及全世界的高级的车手过来我们在这边比赛。这个赛季对于我们来讲有哪些亮点呢？
是的，首先呢，这个是我们 China GT 的第3和第4回合来到了宁波，也是我们作为本赛季国内的首站和国内的揭幕战。包括经历了3年的发展 ，China GT 来到了第4年。今年呢，我们也迎来了像 Face AI、法尔板布这样的一些国际上的一些强队的一些加盟。所以呢，今年 China GT 我们的参赛的数量在宁波站也达到了整体的33台的数量。所以说，我们也希望 China GT 来到宁波，给大家奉献一场精彩的比赛吧。谢谢。
好，谢谢谢天。So Sky just told us this is a very critical year for China GT and it's a great year for China GT as well. So this year, China GT ventured overseas for the first time, going into Malaysia, and the Ningbo rounds is actually the first domestic rounds for China GT this season. And it's a fantastic entry this time around with 33 cars altogether taking the grid in Ningbo. And we welcome the international powerhouse teams such as Craft Bamboo Racing and Fizz Team AI. And it's a fantastic year for China GT. And we wish all the teams and drivers best of luck for today's round. 那么接下来的时间呢，我们看一下昨天 GT3、GTC 以及单一品牌赛组的精彩视频。Next up, let's take a look at the highlight videos from yesterday's races. 那么站在我身边的呢是今天杆位发车的来自 D2 Racing 的第2号车手廖阳。那么廖阳呢，这个周末对于 D2 车队来说也是一个非常棒的周末。昨天和今天在 GT4 组别，您分别获得了冠军和季军的成绩。今天又是杆位发车，有什么感想呢？
首先我要谢谢 China GT 给我这个平台，还有谢谢车队的支持，还有辛苦的技师们，谢谢大家。
好的，谢谢廖阳。So Peter's been having a really fantastic weekend so far. So he won the GT4 race yesterday with Will Bamber, and today as well in the 3rd position for GT4 as well, and starting from pole in GT3. So he's very happy, and thanks to teammate and as well as D2 Racing team for a fantastic car, and thank you for China GT for a great platform, and wishing for a best weekend. Okay, let's wish them both of them good luck. 好，接下来的话，我们转回到我们解说间 ，back to our commentators.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Ningbo for round 4 of the 2019 China GT season. GT3, GTC and Porsche single make trophy action for you this afternoon. A lovely afternoon there in Ningbo. You see the cars on the grid.
车手来自918赛车的郑婉成。那么郑婉成呢，首先恭喜，然后周4的时候做出了一个最快的圈速，所以今天能够以杆位发车。昨天在正赛中呢，也是拿到了最快，就是正赛中的最快圈速，然后车的整体的状态还是很不错的吧？
对，我们的车在这个组别其实还是比较有竞争力的。然后，我们现在因为是第一站驾驶这台赛车，那么还在熟悉的过程中，但是这2天表现出来的速度，我觉得还是比较满意的。不过这台车现在平衡上还不够理想，所以我的队友驾驶起来他还觉得有点困难，就是不够稳定。那么如果我的队友也能再进一步提升他对这台车的控制，应该我们的综合实力会比较强，我认为。
好的，谢谢，然后也祝您今天好运。So Wen Cheng just told us that this car, the Lamborghini, is quite competitive in the GTC grid, starting from pole position today as well as setting the fastest lap in yesterday's race. So yeah, altogether they're feeling good on this car and his team, but however there's still a little bit of a balancing performance still needs to be adjusted, and the teammates still trying to get used to this car. So hopefully if they both do their job and they will be able to finish in a good position. 好的，那现在接下来的时间呢，转回到我们解播间 ，back to our commentators.
And welcome back to Ningbo for round 4 of the GT3, GTC and one make Porsche trophy categories for the 2019 China GT Championship. There you see a shot of the Ningbo track, a bit of heat haze developing there, very hot today, nice and hot and sunny, no danger of the showers that we sometimes see. The cars on the grid there, lots of mechanics and engineers just heading back into the pits now. Soon it's just going to be cars and drivers. There we see the pole position man, that is Kuo Xin and Peter Liao, who we spoke to on the grid there. Pole position in a time of 1:43.772. And Eve Volt sitting alongside me, the GT4 driver in the commentary booth. And Eve, looking forward to a good race this afternoon?
Yeah, thanks for having me again. Yeah, I mean, the race yesterday was really interesting. Quite a lot of things happened. So this time, reversed order, the drivers who did the second stint yesterday are starting today, so a lot of pros starting, so it's going to be definitely a good battle.
We just saw the second place car, the 66, that is Min Hung, who's driving that car first, and Lin Nan. And there the third place car, the 88 Mercedes of Darrell Young, and Jeffrey Lee will be starting in that car today. Fourth place on the grid, the 92 FIS Team AAI BMW of Ivan Lee starting the stint, and he will hand over to Kevin Chen later in the race. In fifth position on the grid is that car there, the number 90, another BMW, and that was yesterday's winning car by Nick Yellowly, the British pro driver, the BMW factory driver, and Lam Yu, his teammate. Of course, they will have to contend with 50 kilograms of success ballast for their win yesterday, so it'll be interesting to see how they get on today. In sixth place is the 63 Mercedes, that is Adam Christodoulou, the British driver, driving that car first, and he will hand over to Eric Zhang, that car with 25 kilograms of ballast, having finished third in yesterday's race. Seventh on the grid is yesterday's second place car in the GT3 category, the 77 Mercedes of Jazaman Jafar, the Malaysian driver starting today, and he will hand over to Frank Yu for the second portion of the race. In eighth place on the grid and first in the GTC category is the 918 car of Zhengwan Chang, who we heard from on the grid there, and he will hand over to Joby Huang for the second stint of the race. Ninth on the grid is the 91, the third BMW FIS Team AAI car on the grid today, and that is driven by Jody Fannin. And first, Betty Chen, who will take the first stint today. In 10th position on the grid is Cui Yue and Lawrence Liu in the number 9 Porsche, a qualifying time of 1:52.124. That another car in the GTC category. In 11th place on the grid, this one, the number 25 car, that is the Extreme Motorsports, driven by the Malaysian driver Dominic Ang, who starts, and he will hand over to Song Bo, that car, another slapped with 25 kilograms of success ballast. So everybody getting off the grid now. You see that safety car in the center of the picture there. That car will lead them round on a formation lap. You'll see the cars weaving from side to side, desperately trying to get some heat into those tires and those brakes, because I imagine, Yves, it's not much fun when you try and drive at racing speed and you've got cold tires and cold brakes.
No, not at all, and it's also a little bit dangerous for the other cars because you basically have, you're just going straight if you don't have the tires in the right temperature. So that's why it's really important to get the tires up to temperature now, to get the maximum pace you can get, and also, it's just much better and more comfortable to drive the car if the tires are warm.
Now, in this morning's GT4 race, we saw a few drivers actually changing tires. I think one of the McLarens, obviously that's a rear-wheel drive car, changing the rear tires there. Do you expect to see some of that this afternoon?
Yeah, it could happen because yesterday they changed tires as well, and today it's a little bit hotter on the track. So I think there is quite a big possibility that we will actually see drivers or teams changing the tires.
Well, we're just seeing the cars lining up and heading off the grid now, and they're going through this turn 2, turn 3 complex, the two 90-degree left-handers, and there's a lot of runoff on the outside of turns 2 and 3. We've seen a lot of drivers using that runoff, using all of the road and a little bit more there. They're not being penalized for that. That seems to be a completely legitimate move in the eyes of the stewards. What's the advantage of taking that outside line there, Yves?
Well, obviously, if you go more outside, you have a longer way to travel, but after T3, there's a long straight coming up, so you want to have as much corner speed as you possibly can, and that's why you just go run wide to carry that speed through the corner, so that you just have the maximum advantage of just getting a little bit more speed. Here in China GT, it's only allowed if you are not behind another car, so that you don't get any advantage to overtake him, or when you're in a fight, so you're not supposed to overtake someone by going wide. If you're behind someone or fighting, then you have to stay within track limits. If you're not fighting or not getting any position, then you can go a little bit wider, which is allowed by the stewards.
Well, we saw a quick glimpse there of the championship standings, and Nick Yellowly, after his victory yesterday, currently leads the pack with 56 points. Nick Yellowly also won one of the 2 races at Sepang, the first 2 rounds of the China GT Championship some weeks ago. The first time that the China GT Championship has taken in a round outside China. Here we look at the GTC standings, and Joby Huang sitting pretty at the top there on 50 points. Zhang Dasheng on 36 points in second place. Then Daniel Liu and Jackie Wu tied in third place, and the rest all keen, no doubt, for a good performance today. A few new drivers in the pack today. Darrell Young in the 88 car, subbing in for the Belgian driver Alessio Picariello, who is otherwise occupied this weekend. And Junsan Chen, who was Nick Yellerly's teammate in Sepang, also not driving this weekend. Yellerly being partnered by Lam Yu in the number 90 car instead. The cars now making their way around this very difficult turn 18, downhill, hard-braking right-hander. How much of a challenge is that to get right, Yves?
Oh yeah, like it's pretty hard to get that on point because it's really tough for the car. A huge drop down of the road, really bumpy there. So a little bit of you know, too much speed is just, you know, killing everything basically the whole time.
Well, the car's now on the start-finish straight, and if the lights go green, and they have gone green, and we're racing here at Sepang. One of the BMWs going to the left-hand side looks like Nick Yellerly, but as they go through the 66 Mercedes into the lead, and that is Min Hung, a fantastic start from second position. They're all going around turn 2, turn 3 now, not too much in the way of incident, nobody going too wide there. As they go through onto this first long straight after turn 4, it is the 66 car of Min Hung in the lead. Peter Liao in second place and challenging, and that is Nick Yellerly. Then the number 90 BMW going up the inside. So Yellerly up into second place from 5th on the grid. And Adam Christodoulou looking to go up the inside as well from 6th on the grid. So did he make that move? Yes, I think Adam Christodoulou up into 3rd place. Nick Yellerly in 2nd and Min Hung in 1st place. But Nick Yellerly already all over the back of Min Hung. Yellerly and Christodoulou, the 2 pro drivers starting the stint today, so they'll want to make a good impression and create as much of a lead as they can before they hand over to their teammates. Yellerly there just flashing his lights, looking to pressurize Min Hung, as that is Jeffrey Lee in the 88 car having a little look as well, but Yellerly right up the bumper, right behind Min Hung. Adam Christodoulou there as well. Peter Liao down into 4th place, but still in very close attendance. Yellerly there, and Christodoulou going around the outside, is he? 3 abreast as they go around the long left-hander, and it looks to me as if Yellerly has just made that stick. So Nick Yellerly up into 1st place, Adam Christodoulou. Oh, very tight racing here as they go down to turn 18, a little bit of wheel banging. Well, breathless action in the first few corners there, Yves.
Yeah, you don't really see that often, but they gave each other a fair amount of room. Adam was fighting really well. Made a little mistake on the braking, but regained that position, and now he's trying to get past that Jeffrey Lee, I think it is.
That's Min Hung in 2nd position in the 66 car.
Trying to get him now so he can close up to Nick, which is really important now because obviously they're both pushing now to get their AM drivers a really good position to, you know, just finish the race well. So it's really important for Adam now to close that gap again.
And we're looking a bit further down the grid at some of the GTC action there. 2 of the Porsches going at it. Hammer and tongs, the number 9 and number 10. That is the number 10 car, and that is racing in the Porsche single make trophy category, as that is Jeffrey Lee going up the inside of the 92 car driven by Ivan Lee. So that is up into 2nd position, I think. No, sorry, that is 5th position, I think. And Peter Liao there in the number 2 D2 Mercedes in 4th position. Nick Yellerly still at the front of the pack. Adam Christodoulou now in 2nd position, having made it past Min Hung, who sits in 3rd place in the green 66 Mercedes. So Mercedes cars 2nd, 3rd and 4th at the moment, as further back, one of the Porsches going up the inside. That looks like it could have been the number 10, driven by Ben Rouget, with 3 minutes gone so far. Everybody still running. Betty Chen in the 91 cars dropped back a little bit, being classified down in 15th place at the last count. So we didn't see what happened there, but as they go through this left-hander, the 88 car of Jeffrey Lee there in 7th position. As we look at some of the action in the GTC category, there the 69 car of Daniel Liu and Jackie Wu, that is currently leading the Porsche single make trophy in 8th position. As we look at a bit of the action there, that is the 918 Lamborghini there going up the inside of the number 9 Porsche, and that is for position in the GTC category as they come to start lap 3. Nick Yellerly already pulling out a bit of a lead, fastest lap last time out 1:43.569, and the Lamborghini there, the 918 car, being driven by Zhengwan Chang, who we heard from on the grid just now, just establishing itself ahead of the number 9 Porsche driven by Cui Yue. So the 918 Lamborghini in second position in the GTC category at the moment. The number 25 car driven by Dominic Ang, the professional driver from Malaysia, in first place in the GTC category. There we're looking at the battle for fourth place. Peter Liao already under pressure from Jasmine Jafar, the Malaysian pro driver. Is he close enough for a look? No, not quite. But I should think, Yves, that Jasmine will be keen to get by Peter Liao as soon as possible and make his way up to the front.
Yeah, I think he's going to try to go there as soon as possible to close the gap to Adam, and there you go. Well, that was quick.
Yeah, so Jasmine up into fourth place now.
Yeah, now he's obviously trying to go a little bit closer to P3. I mean, it was I think the D2 did a little mistake there at the end, so because he got him on the straight, then couldn't really do anything about it, because Jeff got a little bit more speed at the exit, and just you can't really do much about that.
Well, I should think Peter Liao might have expected Jasmine to come by him at some point in the race, but as we look at the front now, Nick Yellerly still in the lead. Adam Christodoulou keeping him honest, just 1.8 seconds behind at the last count. It looked a little bit closer there from looking on the camera there, but as they come through the last corner now, Nick Yellerly still in the lead, Adam Christodoulou 1.1 seconds now. So Adam Christodoulou has just set the fastest lap of the race, a 1:53.0. Nick Yellerly a 1:43.0, sorry. Nick Yellerly a 1:43.6. So Adam Christodoulou taken 0.6 of a second out of Nick Yellerly on that last lap. And this, let's see a replay now of the start. So on the outside there, Min Hung from second place just got the jump on Peter Liao. Min Hung going into the lead as they go through turn 2. Not much in the way of incident there, no wheel banging, nobody going too wide, but Min Hung settling into the lead. Peter Liao coming back at him as they go through turn 4, the little right-hand kink. And Nick Yellerly already at this point up into third place and challenging. There he goes, up the inside, Nick Yellerly. That's a replay of the action at turn 5 on the first lap. And there we saw them go 3 abreast. That's Nick Yellerly taking the lead from Min Hung. Adam Christodoulou losing out a little bit there to Peter Liao. A little bit of wheel banging as they come down to turn 18, but Christodoulou making it stick there, down, braking hard into that downhill right-hander at turn 18. And then there's a little look around that 6, 7, 8 complex, a long right-hander. And the 77 car, Jafar, that was overtaking Peter Liao that we saw earlier. So some good moves early in the race. 7 minutes gone, 53 minutes left to go, and Jasmine already on the tail of Min Hung for challenging for third position. So Jasmine, they come out of the final corner. Let's see if he can get him on this long straight here. That's both of these cars should be fairly evenly matched. They're both the Mercedes. Jasmine having a little look. Min Hung going defensive. And Jasmine not quite close enough to make a move yet, taking that wide line around turn 2 and 3 that you were telling us about there, Yves, but Jasmine still stuck in fourth place there.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get him on the brakes now. Oh, okay. I thought he was close enough to do it, but not really. But I think on the lead, I think Adam is also closing up to Nick a bit.
Adam Christodoulou, Nick Yellerly setting roughly similar lap times, 1:43.17 for Nick Yellerly, 1:43.12 for Adam Christodoulou. The time or the gap was 1 second at the last count as Jasmine looking to go around the outside, but Min Hung defending well there, and no way through for the Malaysian driver just yet. But I wonder if he'll get him here. Goes into the slipstream, and is he close enough, taking the wide line, perhaps with a view towards a better exit, but very difficult to overtake. Let's see as they go through. No, Min Hung as they go curb hopping through there, the back section of this twisty track. Jasmine still in fourth place. Min Hung still in third place, defending very well. No obligation to let Jasmine by. Remember, this is for position. Min Hung's not being lapped, so no sign of the blue flags. Jasmine will have to find his own way by, and he's not managed to do that just yet. Meanwhile, Adam Christodoulou setting the fastest second sector time. He's taken 0.4 of a second out of Nick Yellerly on this lap, as Jasmine having another look around the outside, but Min Hung shutting the door as well. Hopefully we'll get to see some action at the front, and Adam Christodoulou now, here we are, this is the battle for the lead. Adam Christodoulou only 0.8 of a second behind now, setting another fastest lap, 1:43.0. Nick Yellerly a 1:43.3, and these two Min Hung and Jasmine, 1:45.1 and 1:45.2. So Jasmine, it looks as if he's quicker than Min Hung, but clearly can't find a way through, and he's losing time behind his fellow Mercedes driver. But let's see if he can get him on this straight. He's going wide, Min Hung going defensive as they go into the left-hander at turn 5 and now into this turn 6, 7, 8 complex. Is there an overtaking opportunity here, do you think, Yves?
Depends. I don't think that. Well, actually, yeah, because I think there was a little mistake on the exit. As you can see now, Jasmine is a little bit closer, but now obviously he's not outside, and yeah, he made it.
Yeah, Jasmine making it pie, but he's taken the outside line and he's run a little bit wide. And Min Hung, I should think, back into 3rd place. Yes, Jasmine just doing a little bit of lawn mowing there as he falls back into line in 4th position. And he wants to be careful he doesn't do that too much, because we saw yesterday one of the cars running wide over the grass and then having to stop later in the race. With you can see the grass actually in the front of Jasmine's car. Let's hope that hasn't gone into his radiator and caused his engine to overheat. But he's still behind Min Hung, still looking for a way by. And when you're in Min Hung's position here, Yves, what's the most important thing to do? How do you defend your position?
Well, usually you're just trying not to do any mistakes and just keep your speed up, and then obviously if he's close enough, as you see some slides like this, you try to prevent them, because now obviously Jasmine got an advantage to him. So you're just trying not to do those small mistakes that gets the car behind a little bit closer, just gives him the advantage to overtake, and then obviously you have to if he's close enough like that, you just have to close the line a bit. But Jasmine needs to be careful now with the grass, because the grass is pretty high in Ningbo, and if you cut the track a bit, the engine will overheat.
And Jasmine's made it through there into 3rd place, so Min Hung looked as if he just got a little bit out of shape in turn 2 there, and Jasmine up into 3rd place. He's some 10 seconds behind Adam Christodoulou in 2nd now. He's lost quite a bit of time behind Min Hung, but he's got a nice clear track now ahead of him to try to attack these two, Nick Yellerly in the number 90 BMW and Adam Christodoulou in the 63 Mercedes, and hopefully we'll see these two having a good battle for the lead. Adam Christodoulou just kicking up a little bit of dust there as they go through into the tight left-hander. Nick Yellerly still in the lead, Adam Christodoulou in 2nd place. These two, Nick Yellerly a 1:43.0 last time round, Adam Christodoulou a 1:43.1. These two setting very similar lap times, good racing at the front. Jasmine Jafar a 1:45.9 last time around, so he's lost a lot of time behind Min Hung, unable to get by his fellow Mercedes driver, but he's in clear air now, and I should think we'll see Jasmine closing up on this pair as they go through that tricky turn 18 with 12 minutes of the race gone. Now these cars, every car in this race having to stop once. The mandatory pit stop window, that opens once we've hit 25 minutes of the race, and that is open for 10 minutes. And I would think the pro drivers, the likes of Nick Yellerly, Adam Christodoulou and Jasmine Jafar, will go as far into that pit window as possible so that they can drive for the longest stint before they hand over to their AM drivers. And Christodoulou taking a very wide line there as they go through turn 2 and turn 3. Adam Christodoulou flashing his lights there. Well, what's he saying there, Yves? Is that is he saying, now come on, I'm just here behind you, or come on, hurry up, get out of my way?
No, he's just making a little bit pressure on Nick. Obviously, they're doing the same speeds. I think Nick just made the fastest lap by a 10th quicker than Adam. But yeah, what you do with a flash, you're just trying to do a little bit of pressure on the guy in front of you, especially when you're that close and you're like really on the limit. So any little mistake would help to get a 10th closer, and then at the end maybe close enough to get it in a slipstream and get him on the brakes.
Well, in 3rd position now, Jasmine, who we just saw going through in the red car. In 4th place, Min Hung, and in 5th place, Peter Liao. And those 3 cars starting to spread out a little bit now. The race settling down a little bit. Here we are. That is Dominic Ang in the 25 car, the Radical. And that is the leading car in the GTC category. Dominic Ang, the Malaysian driver, the pro driver, driving first as one of the Porsches, the 69 Porsche, driven by Daniel Liu, kicking up a bit of dust. Daniel Liu leading in the one-make Porsche trophy category. 3 cars in that category at the moment today. Dominic Ang leading in the GTC category, which has 7 cars in it, and 8 cars in the GT3 category. The top 7 cars, all in the GT3 category. The only GT3 car not among that leading bunch is the number 91 car, currently driven by Betty Chen, down in 15th place, so we didn't see what happened there, but down from 9th on the grid. So a bit of a difficult start for the number 91 BMW, but Betty Chen will hand over to Jodie Fannin, the British driver, for the second portion of the race. And I've no doubt that Jodie Fannin will have quite a good time looking to overtake cars ahead of him, which will probably be a little bit slower, the GTC and Porsche single-make trophy cars. At the front, still Nick Yellerly in the lead. Christodoulou still in second place, 9/10 of a second behind. Third place, Jazeman Jaafar just set the fastest lap of the race, a 1:42.3. So he's taken over half a second out of Adam Christodoulou in second place. There's your race leader, Nick Yellerly, in the number 90 car. 45 minutes of the race still to go, 3/4 to go, 1/4 distance having been completed. Adam Christodoulou looks a little bit closer on that from that angle there, but our timing still has him 9/10. Well, he's just taken just over a 1/10 and a half out of Adam Christodoulou, so the gap now around 8/10 of a second. As we look at a battle further down the field, those are 2 of the Lamborghini cars in the GTC category. Can't quite see the numbers just yet. That is the 75 car, just ahead of the 918, so that is the battle for 13th place. Those 2 very close together. Good to see some close racing throughout the grid here. 15 cars currently running, and that at the back there you see Betty Chen in the 91 FIS Team BMW. So in 15th place on the road, but certainly not cut adrift just yet. Meanwhile, up at the front, still Nick Yellerly ahead of Adam Christodoulou and Jazeman Jaafar in 3rd place. And that is another of the radicals. That's not the car driven by Dominic Ang. That is the 68 car that started in 15th place on the grid, driven by Liu Kai and Lo Tse Ho. Lo Tse Ho, the Hong Kong driver, the first driver there before he hands over to Liu Kai for the second portion of the race. And the 2 Lamborghinis putting on a good show for us here. Obviously very evenly matched machinery. And that there, the battle for 13th place. Good to see good close racing all the way up and down the field. And Betty Chen in 15th place there, still in close attendance, as well as the 918 Lamborghini getting close, but perhaps not close enough. Has he got a chance for a look up the inside here, Yves?
I don't really think so, because it's not close enough, and the cars are like this. They have the same power, so I don't really think that the slipstream is enough to get on the brakes. Yeah, so he probably has to try to get a little bit closer to the net for the next straight on the braking, which would make his life a bit easier to overtake him. So it would have been too risky to just open up the brakes. It's just distance is too big, and now he made quite a huge mistake. Opened up that gap again, so yeah, now he has to do all the work again.
Yeah, the 75 car driven by CJ Huang starting in 14th place. CJ Huang and his teammate Wang Tao finished second in the GTC race yesterday. As we look at the battle for 11th place on the road, that is the number 10 Porsche of Ben Rouget and Simon Chan. Ben Rouget, the French driver, doing a bit of curb hopping there. Those curbs very high, and he's just ahead of the 68 Radical. That is Lo Tse Ho driving that, so that is a battle for position. Lo Tse Ho going around the outside, and Lo Tse Ho just spins. Dear, oh dear. Bad mistake for Lo Tse Ho there. And was that, Yves, just as a result of going on the outside where there's not so much grip?
Yeah, I think he just pushed a little bit too hard, made a small mistake, and then especially on the uphill part of the track, it's extremely bumpy, and a small mistake is just, causing a lot, as we saw yesterday with the Toro AMG. Just a little bit too fast, and the car just spun around, and probably the same thing happened here.
Well, Lo Tse Ho disappointing, a little bit of a spin there, but no major harm done. He gets going again as we continue to look at the battle for 13th place on the road, and 3rd place in the GTC category. CJ Huang there, but the 918 car of Zheng Wen Chang, who we heard from on the grid, that started in 8th place, now down in 13th, so lost a few places, but clearly trying to make up for lost time. And they go side by side now. It looked as if Zheng Wen Chang just got better drive, and he takes that position. So Zheng Wen Chang up into 12th position and up into 3rd place in the GTC category. CJ Huang down to 4th in the category now, with 19 minutes of the race gone, 41 minutes to go, and the pit window opening in 5, or just over 5, around about 6 minutes time. There we see the 75 car of CJ Huang, a very experienced campaigner in China GT. He knows his way around that Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo very well indeed. Drove it last year. And we look at the battle for the lead again. Nick Yellerly still in first place, Adam Christodoulou still second. The gap slightly widened now. Adam Christodoulou 1.6 seconds behind Nick Yellerly, so opened a gap of about 7/10 of a second since we last had a look at these two. Jazeman Jaffar still taking a little bit of time out of them, but still 8 seconds down the road. So Jazeman Jaffar a 1:42.8 last time around, Adam Christodoulou a 1:43.1. So Jazeman Jaffar not making any significant inroads into these two just yet. Nick Yellerly still leading the race, and Adam Christodoulou still keeping him honest in second place. Now, Yves, when you're winning a race like this in the position that Nick Yellerly is in, and you've got nobody in front of you and nobody immediately behind him, because Adam Christodoulou is not, you know, right on his bumper, what's the most important thing? Do you find it's hard to maintain focus sometimes?
I don't really think so. Right now, I think, you know, he's like 5 seconds off, 5 minutes off the pit window open. So I think both of the drivers now are just like maintaining that speed, not pushing too much, so their teammates actually have a good, you know, amount of tire wear. They have to be good enough for the teammate to give them a final push. So I think both of them just stop pushing, just find for themselves a good speed, because as you can see, Jazeman are pretty quick. But I think, yeah, we're gonna head down to the pit lane and see what the drivers think.
现在在我身旁的呢是63号的车手藏坎，他和他的队友 Adam Christodoulou 现在正在紧密的追赶着领先的 Nick Yellerly。然后藏坎能不能跟我们说一下现在进行的一个情况呢？然后心情是怎么样的？
我们今天第3排在第6位发车，然后发车起步 ，Adam 呢表现非常好。现在我们已经追到了第2位，但是现在看下来，1、2、3，前3台车都是由非常厉害的 Pro 车手在开，所以这个是一个拉锯战，所以也看一下接下来他们的表现。
然后今天的话，您的这辆赛车是加重25公斤，然后 Nick 的车是50公斤，您觉得有没有可能在这方面的话有一点点的优势呢？
我觉得优势肯定会有，但是不会在每一圈单圈的成绩上显示出来，而是整个比赛过程里面，因为车的额外的重量的它的这种衰减，会到比赛的后期会越来越明显。
好的，那现在祝您好运，然后您可以回去看比赛了，谢谢您。So Eric just told us that his teammate Adam Christodoulou is right now hunting down Nick Yellerly in the number 90, and right now the top 3 is all occupied by pro drivers. Adam had a really good start coming from P6 to P2, but the top 3 drivers are having a fantastic battle at the moment. His car at the moment is 25 kilos lighter in success ballast, so hopefully that will also come into play towards the end of the session. So at the moment, let's wish both of them best of luck. 然后接下来的时间我们转回到我们节播间 ，Back to you guys.
Well, the top 3 drivers, the pro drivers, really going at it. Nick Yellerly, Adam Christodoulou and Jazeman Jaffar, first, second and third. Jazeman Jaffar in particular really putting the hammer down. 6.7 seconds the gap now between himself and Adam Christodoulou. So Jazeman last time out a 1:42.8, Adam Christodoulou a 1:43.5. So Jazeman taking over half a second out of Adam Christodoulou on that last lap. Nick Yellerly a 1:43.1. So he's losing a bit of time to Jazeman as well, but the gap now around 2 seconds to Adam Christodoulou in second. There you see Jazeman in your picture now. He's coming through in third place. And I suppose, Yves, the thing that these 3 drivers really don't want now is a safety car, because that would really ruin the lead that they've built up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be good for Jazeman to get closer to the 2 leading guys, but it would be absolutely a pity for Adam and Nick. But I'm actually not sure if Adam actually, you know, just stopped pushing now to give Eric a better car to push later, or if Nick, you know, just find a good speed.
Oh, and that's the D2 Racing Mercedes. That is number 2 car. of Korko Shin and Peter Liao. That was running in 5th place, and I wonder if we might now actually see a safety car. Talk about the curse of the commentator. You can see that car and the yellow flags waving to tell the drivers to slow down. Let's see what happened, and it looks... Well, was there a problem with the front right wheel there? It looked... oh, yes, he's got a front right puncture, or is a...
No, it's a suspension broken. You see the whole rim is moving out, so I think that is the suspension broke. Maybe he has hit the curb a little bit too hard, because like as I said before, the track is extremely hard for the car.
Yeah, and we've seen that earlier on this weekend. We've seen a few punctures happening in the GT4 races and in yesterday's GT3 race, and so it looks as if that car has come a cropper as well. And I wonder if... now, that car's not on the racing line. I wonder if they can just deal with that with double-waved yellows without actually having to throw a safety car. There's nothing on our timing board saying that a safety car's coming out. I wonder if the marshals might be able to get rid of it just with the double-waved yellows, Yves.
I think the stewards are still investigating if it's worth putting out a safety car, because I think he parked the car a little bit too close to the pit wall to actually get out. So it puts him a little bit in danger, you know, because it's a pretty fast part of the track, and if somebody spins out, it crashes into him. So we could quite possibly see a safety car, but I think for now they will just keep it in under a double yellow, and then we will see if they will actually do something about it or not.
Yeah, no sign of a safety car just yet, as we look at the number 88 car of Jeffrey Lee, and that is now in 5th position after the number 2 car of Peter Liao had to retire. And you saw there the looked like a suspension failure on the front right from hitting these curbs, which are quite unforgiving. You see the cars bouncing up in the air, and there you see on the right-hand side, and you just see the yellow flag there. So I think the race directors and the stewards have decided that yellow flags are enough. No need to throw a safety car. I think if there was going to be a safety car, we would have seen it by now, and it looks as if Peter Liao has been able to get back into his pit, and they'll either move that car or just maybe just keep it there. It's well off the racing line, so no immediate danger. As we look at the battle between the Porsche and the Lamborghini, and that is the number 69, that number 10 Porsche, excuse me, of Ben Rouget, currently in 10th position, and the 918 Lamborghini, driven by Zheng Wanchan, who was in pole position in the GTC category, currently running in 3rd position in that category. Ben Rouget in 2nd place in the Porsche category. Those two categories very evenly matched. And the pit window is now open. We missed that in all the excitement with the number 2 Mercedes pulling off, but the pit window is now open, so we're expecting to see some of the cars coming in for their mandatory pit stops. I should think the top 3, and there we go, that is the number 88 car. So that is Jeffrey Lee coming in, and he's handing over to Darilo Young. Now, Darilo Young, the pro driver in that partnership, makes perfect sense that they will call that car in early into the pit window so that Darilo Young will have plenty of time to make up the time in the second portion of the race, because as the pro driver, he will, in theory, be quicker than Jeffrey Lee. So Darilo Young, the first of the pro drivers taking the second portion of the race to come in and take the wheel. As we look at the number 92 car, that is Ivan Lee, now in 6th position, driving a somewhat lonely race. No one immediately in front or behind him, but we'll expect to see a lot more of the cars coming in for their mandatory pit stops very soon. There you see Nick Yellerly and Adam Christodoulou and the yellow flags in the background, and that is those 2 cars not coming in for the driver change, so they're going for another lap. Here we see the number 10 Porsche, so Ben Rouget, the French driver, hopping out, and Simon Chan, his Hong Kong teammate, coming in. And just having a look at the wheels there, I don't think that's a tyre change. Well, they've got the tyres at the back there, so maybe they're just maybe they're changing the rear tyres there, Yves.
Yeah, obviously the Porsche has a rear engine, so it's pretty aggressive on the rear tyres. So maybe they just had some problems with that throughout the stint and just want to make sure that they change tyres. And now, as we see,
yeah, I think that's the same. Yeah, that's the number 10. So that's Ben Rouget and Simon Chan. So yeah, up on the jacks there, changing the rear tyres. The Porsche obviously rear-wheel drive and an engine in the back. So I assume a lot of a weight towards the back of the car, which would ruin the rear tyres more quickly.
Exactly, especially here it's really bumpy, so the tyres are a lot under pressure. You know, like there's never really a stop for the tyres not to work, so that's why I think, especially with the Porsche, since they have a rear engine, it's really hard for them to keep the rear tires in a good shape.
Well, as we look now at Nick Yellerly still leading the race, Adam Christodoulou behind him. There he is, still in second place. The gap 1.6 seconds at the last count, so the gap has stayed fairly constant. There's been a tiny bit of toing and froing between these two, but nothing major. It's always hovered around 1 or 1.5 seconds. Jasmine Jafar still taking time out of those two. 1:42.6 on the last lap. Adam Christodoulou a 1:43.2 on the last lap. So Jasmine Jafar just about 5 seconds the gap now as they just crossed the line again for to start lap 18. Jasmine a 1:42.9 and Adam Christodoulou a 1:43.4. So Jasmine still taking time out as we look at the number 918 car of Zhengwan Chang, who hands over to Zhou Bi Huang. That is the car in the GTC category, one of the Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeos, as they come out for the second portion of the race as the clock ticks down now. 30 minutes gone and 30 minutes still to go. You see the green flag there, so the race director obviously decided there's no need to throw a safety car to get rid of the stricken number 2 D2 Racing Mercedes of Kuo Xin and Peter Liao. And it must be really bad luck, Yves, when you're the second driver in that partnership and the car has to stop like that before you've even had a chance to get in it.
Yeah, it is really frustrating, but that's, you know, that's just a risky run. I think it wasn't even his mistake, it was just bad luck, just maybe hitting the curb a little bit too much and the suspension didn't take it well, or just hit the wrong angle. And yeah, it's pretty quick that what you're doing. So yeah, really unlucky for the second driver, but it's really unfortunate, but it can happen in endurance racing. It's pretty normal. It happens, you know, it can happen every time to every team. So yeah.
And we look now at the number 69 Porsche. That is of Daniel Liu and Jackie Wu, leading in the Porsche single make trophy category, and they're changing tires. They're changing front tires as well. So a completely new set of boots for Jackie Wu when he goes out for his stint. That car with 35 kilograms of success ballast after finishing second yesterday. And to what extent, Yves, does that success ballast affect the balance of the car? Especially, we're seeing them change all 4 wheels and tires. Do you think that the success ballast might have something to do with that?
Yeah, probably, because, as I said before, the track is really twisty, and the extra weight is just doing even more pressure on the tires and using those tires even more. I mean, you know, you try to be as light as you can, especially for the tires, and if you just put more weight inside, it's just heavier for the tires to actually get a good wear. So you can see there
is the number 91 car, and that is Betty Chen's car pulling off to the side. So can't see any damage just at the moment. So perhaps a mechanical failure, and that's really bad luck for Betty Chen, who had a very difficult time yesterday, spinning off on the last lap after what was a very good race. But as we look at the front now, Adam Christodoulou is right on Nick Yellerly's gearbox. We didn't see what happened there. They traded fairly similar lap times last time around. The gap was 1.8 seconds at the last count. But Adam Christodoulou right up with Nick Yellerly now. We'll wait to see the sector times, see if there was perhaps a problem that Nick Yellerly had. But Adam Christodoulou really looking up the inside. Yes, Nick Yellerly lost a second in sector 2 on that lap, so perhaps run a little wide there. You see Adam flashing his lights just to let Nick Yellerly know that he's there. These two know each other very well, and they're very evenly matched in this race. Nick Yellerly still in the lead, but Adam Christodoulou closing again, and Jasmine just maintaining a watching brief in third place. 4.8 seconds behind now, as into the pits comes the number 92 BMW. That is the car driven by Ivan Lee, who will hand over to Kevin Chen, and it looks like they're changing rear tyres as well. So another car changing tyres. And this race, as Adam Christodoulou takes the fashionable wide line through the turn 2, turn 3 complex. And these two drivers not coming in. Adam going very wide again there, just missing the grass. And it looks like he's really trying there to get past Nick Yellerly.
Yeah, because both of the cars have to go in the pits now, which just makes Eric's job a bit easier after he jumps in and just in front of the BMW. So that's why Adam is just pushing as hard as you can, while you see Betty stepping out of the car, so they need to be careful here. Adam can't overtake since it's yellow flag there, but he's preparing now for the long straight.
Oh, and safety cars coming out. The safety car board, the marshals there holding the yellow flag, so we'll expect to see the safety car coming out. And this, if the safety car comes out now, this might very well play into the hands of Nick Yellerly and Adam Christodoulou, because they're going to have to come in this lap anyway to take their mandatory pit stop. And with the rest of the field circulating at a reduced speed, there you see the SC board, safety car, coming out. If the rest of the field is circulating at a reduced speed, that means that the time lost in the pit lane for the number 90 car and the number 63 car is going to be less than if the rest of the pack was circulating at racing speed. So if we do see the introduction of the safety car, this may be very good indeed for Nick Yellerly, Adam Christodoulou, Jazeman Jafar and their 3 teammates, because now they will lose less time. Now the yellow flags are out, so that we can't see any overtaking, and in fact those 3 now coming in line astern, and this should provide very interesting racing in the second portion. Look, those 3, that's how close they are. Those are the first 3 cars in this race. Nick Yellerly, Adam Christodoulou and Jazeman Jafar absolutely together. And now this might be a battle of the pit stops, because Nick Yellerly and Jazeman Jafar will be stopping for 77 seconds. Adam Christodoulou will have to stop another couple of seconds longer, 79 seconds. And if that extra couple of seconds could be pivotal, that could mean that Jazeman Jafar's teammate Frank Yu will get out ahead of Adam Christodoulou's teammate Eric Zhang and into, well, what would be a net second place once these pit stops have sorted themselves out. But I would think, Yves, this would be very good. This is very good timing indeed for those front 3 cars, because now they're going to lose less time relative to the rest of the pack that's circulating more slowly under the safety car.
Yeah, I think now it's going to be really interesting, because they're all pretty much packed together. Now they're Amsadrin inside, so yeah, it's going to be an interesting race. As you can see now, Betty's car a little bit burning. They're there with the fire extinguishers. Maybe she had some overheating problems with her engines. But yeah, for sure, like, it's going to be a really good battle now. Obviously, Adam couldn't make the move past the BMW of Nick, so yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I think they just used the safety car also to clear the D2 Mercedes. So yeah, I think it's going to take a little longer until the safety car is actually out, so maybe another 10 minutes until they both recover both cars.
Well, let's hope that they managed to recover both of those cars quickly. Betty Chen's car, she parked it offline. It looked as if there was a runoff area nearby, so hopefully the marshals can clear that car in a relatively short space of time. And you saw the recovery vehicle there, as you said, using the safety car period as a good chance to pick up that stricken number 2 Mercedes as well. Meanwhile, the net lead of the race now is the 66 car. That is now piloted by Lin Nan. You see that there we are, the green and white coloured Mercedes, the 66 car ahead of the safety car. So into the lead of the race, I think. The timings are all, when everyone takes their pit stops like this, the timings are all a little bit skew-whiff for a lap or two until we sort everything out. And obviously this safety car situation is further complicating matters, so we'll have a look when they go over the start-finish line. But there you see the 77 car. So of those 3 cars that stopped, the 77 car that was piloted by Jazeman Jafar is now leading those 3. So Frank Yu, in the 77 car, is leading Lam Yu in the number 90 car. He's Nick Yellerly's teammate. And Eric Zhang, Adam Christodoulou's teammate, remember that car had to stop for 2 seconds longer. And that car is now at the back of this gang of 3 that we're expecting to see at the front or near the front very soon. So 22 minutes of the race still to go. You see the recovery vehicle on the right-hand side. So, and in fact, Frank Yu has taken the lead of the race. So that car, the 66 car that is ahead, is in fact 1 lap down. So I wonder if the safety car might now wave these cars through and pick up the number 77 car, which should be at the front. That car driven by Frank Yu. The timing screens that we have at the moment have Frank Yu, Lam Yu and Eric Zhang, the top 3, having completed 21 laps. And then in 4th place is the 66 car, has only completed 20 laps. So the 66 car that we see leading the pack behind the safety car is actually 1 lap down, according to our timing screens. And meanwhile, we wait to see the number 77 car. There it is. That, according to the timing screens, that is your race leader, the 77 car. The number 90 right behind it of Lam Yu. that is in second position, and the number 63 car of Eric Zhang in third place. And they, according to the timing screens, are 1 lap ahead of everybody else. So the safety car coming out when it did really seems to have paid dividends and worked handsomely in favor of those three. And hopefully the safety car will come in soon and we can go racing and we can see a grandstand battle to the finish between these three cars. And Yves, how frustrating is it when you're behind the safety car like this and you've got to circulate at a reduced speed?
Oh, well, it's really frustrating, especially when you had like a pretty comfortable lead, and you know, now everything looks a little bit in chaos because you don't know, like obviously our leading cars are further back in the field, but I think as soon as the track is clear enough, the safety car will let all the cars who might get overlapped just go through, so they can actually catch up with the pack, the leading pack. So yeah, it's really, now it's just hard to get into focus again. Just try not to do any mistakes as soon as the restart yeah, is happening. So that's why drivers just try keeping their tires and brakes warm, just getting focused. As you can see now, the D2 is getting pushed away. I've just wondered if Kokon Chan is just staying in car, but let's hear from the driver down there in the pit lane what they're saying.
那么现在在我身旁的呢是来自60号车的闵恒 YC Racing 的车手。那闵恒呢，第一棒的话是跟着许多的 Pro 车手比拼，然后也是跑得非常的辛苦，但最后的话也是我觉得是跑得也是非常好的吧。
是的，今天发车取得了一个很好的位置，然后在第一后了几圈，后来发现2个厂车的车队的车手已经在后视镜后面了，然后我们的组别跟他们的组别还不是一个，所以没必要跟他们竞争，然后就在后来几圈放他们过去了。然后接下来就是 AMG 的同组别的那台车，所以就进行了一些拼斗，后来发现它的出了点状况。 然后我们就放开跑了，然后就换人了。
那现在的话，出于安全车，现在出了安全车的话，对于这个车队来说的话，目前的话感觉会有什么影响呢？
后面的我已经交给我的对手，交给我的搭档了，然后相信他可以做好他自己的该做的。
好的，谢谢闵恒。 So Min Hung just told us that he had a really good start in his stint racing against all the pro drivers, but even though he had a good start, but the pro drivers, the factory drivers soon appeared in his rear view mirrors, but he would just let them by and didn't want to race with them. And right now the safety car is coming out, so it's leaving up to his teammate Min Nan to do the job. 好的，那祝2位车手好运。接下来的时间，我们转回到我们的解说间 ，Back to our commentators. 那么现在的话，我们还是就是现在在激烈的比赛进行当中。然后我们觉得今天的话，在 AA 的这个组别的话，是不是还是有很大的获胜把握呢
？AA 的领奖台是已经锁定了，然后就看后面我的队友能不能守住后面那一台 AA 的车。
好的 ，so he's secured the victory for the AMM podium. So hopefully, he'll be able to step up in further positions in the overall positions. 好的，那接下来的话，我们转回到我们解说间，谢谢。
好，那其实闵恒在刚才第一棒的表现可以说是非常的非常的。
Well, nice to hear from Min Hung there, who drove the first portion of the race in the 63 car. And we're seeing on the timing screens that the safety car is going to return to the pits this lap. So we'll hopefully return to the race very shortly. 16 minutes to go. We've had the safety car out for some time. 2 different incidents. Betty Chen in the 91 FIS Team BMW pulling off. And then that instigated the safety car. A little bit of what looked like some sort of fire in Betty Chen's car, perhaps a bit of overheating. The marshals there with some fire extinguishers looking to quench whatever fire was in there, and also then using that opportunity to clear the stricken number 2 car. That was the D2 Racing Mercedes of Guo Xin and Peter Liao, which pulled off earlier in the race. Peter Liao, it looked as if he must have hit some curbing. There was a bit of damage to his front right suspension, and unfortunately that car had to retire, had to pull off onto the pit wall. And Yves, how frustrating is it as a driver in that sort of situation when we've seen a lot of the cars bouncing over those curbs this weekend? How difficult is it to go through that when you've damaged your car like that?
Yeah, well, I mean, in the end, you have to hit the curbs hard because otherwise you will lose time. And it's really unfortunate that it will happen to you, but apparently it has to happen at some point. So yeah, it's really unfortunate. It's unlucky, really. I mean, in the GT4, I got a puncture as well, so you know it was really unfortunate. It can happen to everyone. You have to be hard with the car, no matter if it's otherwise you won't be as fast as you possibly can. But yeah, as we can see, the teams down there, the mood is really good, which is also really important. I mean, in the end, we all just want.
现在的话，站在我身边的是来自918号的 YC Racing 的郑婉成。然后郑婉成的话，今天是杆位发车，但是在第1棒的时候的话，就是这个下坡弯很急，然后也是发生了一点小的失误，是吧？
就像我们赛前说的，我们的车因为第1站到位嘛，加重以后，这个平衡上面还是有点没有很好，因为调教方面还不够理想。那么在有个路段比较颠簸6号弯的位置，稍微因为一个颠簸，然后产生了一个 spin， 丢了大概3个位置、4个位置。我后来又追到，可能超了2、3台车吧，但是我也不记得具体位置，可能在第3的位置回来看到。我觉得接下来。由于安全车的这个帮助，我们的位置又会跟前面贴得很近，也许我的队友还有机会上到更好的位置。
队友的话，今天这2天的表现的话，其实也还是不错的。然后您对他有没有什么？因为您可能对他比他的这个经验可能稍微更加丰富一些，对他有什么指点呢？
其实我的队友他去年才刚开始练赛车，是一个相对非常新的新手。那我去年做他的教练开始，他进步得非常大。那目前我看他在大部分的老杆车手里面应该算是比较好的，可能仅次于某1、2台车吧。但是昨天的比赛情况来看，他对这台车的熟悉还不够，因为我们是第1次开这台车，那么熟悉程度非常有必要增加，因为我们现在下一场比赛之前应该会。
Champions are born out of the fire.
but he's keeping off the racing line, which is what he should do, and touring back to the pits, and let's hope he can get back there. But meanwhile, back in the race, this is the battle for the lead there. That is the 63 car. There it is, of Eric Zhang, and right behind is Lam Yu. So this is the battle for the lead, and this is what we were hoping we would see with just under 10 minutes to go in the race now. The 63 car of Eric Zhang still ahead, but Lam Yu keeping him honest. And let's see, it was 1 second last time they went across the start-finish line. Let's see what the gap is now, 4/10 of a second. So Lam Yu taking 6/10 out of the 63 car and challenging as they go through turn 2. No, not quite close enough there. We've seen Eric Zhang's teammate Adam Christodoulou taking the very wide line through turn 2 and turn 3, but Eric Zhang there going the conventional route, and Lam Yu weaving this way and that, trying to have a little look at the inside, but not quite close enough as they go through turn 5, and now dropping back a little bit as they go through the turn 6, 7, 8 complex. But the number 90, Lam Yu, looking pretty racy there, Yves.
Yeah, I mean, you know, now he I think it made a little mistake up there because the gap just got a little bit bigger. But for sure they will be racing hard for the last about 9 minutes. So it's going to be a really interesting finish, I think. If both the drivers give each other a fair amount of room, it will be an interesting fight, which is really important for the sport. You know, in the end, you all want to have a good battle and a good show, and then as soon as you get out of the car, you can like shake hands, be like, okay, fair win. So yeah, that's all we're looking for, and I think this one will be a perfect opportunity, and it will definitely happen.
Yeah, lots of good sportsmanship in yesterday's GT3, GTC and Porsche One Make Trophy race, as the BMW, the number 90 car, driven by Lam Yu, having a little look up the inside. It looks as if at this stage in the race, the BMW may have the legs on the Mercedes, but as is so often the case in motor racing, catching is one thing and passing is another thing entirely. Already this weekend, several times, we've seen cars unable to get by when they look as if they're slightly quicker, and a little bit of a nudge there. The BMW clearly a little bit quicker, and has he got, that was very close indeed to swiping the back of the 63, and it looks as if the number 90 car lost a bit of momentum, but is he going up the inside there? It looks as if Eric Zhang has just held it and lives to fight another day. The BMW just weaving a little bit under braking there as they go through turn 2 and turn 3. Yves, how did you see that move?
Yeah, it was good. It was a good job done by Eric to block this the opportunity of the number 90 BMW. But I think maybe he could have done like the number 90 BMW could have done a bit better an exit, and get him on the brakes. So yeah, I think now he lost completely his rhythm. Now he needs to get back in it and needs to get the, I don't know how big is the gap now? Pretty big now. It was a 10th before, but I think
yeah, it looks as if it's opened up a bit now. It looked to me as if the BMW was so much quicker coming off the last corner that he actually caught the Mercedes a bit by surprise, a bit on the hop, and he was about to run into him and then had to get out of the move and compromised him. Oh, and that is the Radical. That looks like the number 25 car, driven by Song Bo, who took over from Dominic Ang, and that looks like it's just at the exit of turn 2 onto the runoff area. So another car stopped out on track. Hopefully we'll just see the yellow flags and not another safety car, as the BMW closing back up the number 90 car on the 63 Mercedes now as they approach the tricky T18 downhill right-hander. Coming down the hill now, braking hard down the hill, and then approaching these last few corners. I wonder if the BMW of Lam Yu, can he position his car correctly this time and go for a run at Eric Zhang onto the start-finish straight again. Not quite as close this time as they come through to start lap 30, 4/10 of a second behind, and he's going up is he going up the inside? And yes, going up the inside, but has he got it? Oh no, and he's run a little bit wide, and the Mercedes, but he's got the move done. So, Lam Yu up into the lead, Eric Zhang down into second place. Yves, what did you make of that?
I think he didn't give the Mercedes enough space on the second one, is he pushing off a bit? I think that's a little bit too close. Eric was fairly on the inside, so maybe should have just given a little bit more space, but Eric just made a move again. So yeah.
Yeah, on their side-by-side banging wheels as they go through absolutely together, and the BMW, Lam Yu back into the lead. These two trading blows quite literally in the last 5 minutes, but the 63 Mercedes not giving up just yet, taking that wide line into the tight left-hander, maybe hoping for a better exit. That's often the way to overtake around this tight Ningbo circuit. And the 63 car going right behind the number 90 BMW there. Yves, how much of an effect does the slipstream have on this track and with these cars?
Not as much as compared to the Sepang International Circuit or the Shanghai International Circuits, because the straights are just not that long. Obviously, there's a little bit of slipstream effect, but we don't really have really long and fast corners, so it's not that much. But it's a little bit, but not a massive difference.
Well, that is probably what Eric Zhang will be looking for. You see him flashing his lights there. He'll want to get as close to Lam Yu as he possibly can and take advantage of whatever slipstream there is available here at Ningbo. Very difficult to pass, and it's often the way that a quick exit from a corner can help you on those straights to make a move on the car in front of you. But as they start lap 31, Lam Yu into the lead and pulled out a little bit of a gap now. 1 second the gap. Lam Yu on that last lap, a 1:47.3, and the 63 car of Eric Zhang, a 1:48.7. So lost quite a bit of time as well as a position, and in fact, it looks as if the gap is even bigger there as they go through turn 4, the right-hand kink, and braking hard now to the left-hander, and that is the 77 car. We haven't seen. Frank Yu has dropped off the pace a little bit now. Still in third place, but 26 seconds behind the battle for the lead now. Frank Yu, a 1:50.041. So it looks as if Frank Yu is set fair for third place. He's a whole lap ahead of Darilo Young in fourth place, and Darilo Young, the pro driver, there really was disadvantaged by that safety car that came out just at the right time for these top 3 cars to make their stops without losing a whole heap of time, because they're now still 1 lap ahead of the chasing pack, led by Darilo Young in the number 88 car in 4th position. In 5th place, it's Kevin Chen in the 92 BMW, and 6th place is the 918 car, and that is the car driven by Zhou Bihuang, leading the GTC category, the Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo. And meanwhile, the 25 Radical we saw pull off the road a little while ago, but seems to have got going again as we look at the number 92 car. That is Kevin Chen running in 5th position, just putting a lap on one of the slower runners. There he is, Kevin Chen in 5th place. Another solid day for Kevin Chen. In 5th place, his teammates Nick Yellerly and Lam Yu still in the lead of the race in the number 90 car, and the number 91 car unfortunately had to pull off the road, and that was what brought out the safety car several laps ago. And here is the 918, and that is the GTC, the leading car in the GTC category. Zhou Bihuang driving that car at the moment, just 0.5 of a second ahead of the 68 car. So this is the real interest in the race at the moment. There you see that's 1st and 2nd in the GTC category. So those two absolutely together as we enter the last 2 minutes of the race, Yves.
Yeah, I hope they're going to battle as well as the Mercedes and the BMW before. It was a really good fight. I just thought, you know, maybe the BMW could have given a little bit more space to Eric. But obviously it was a really nice fight, and that's exactly what we want to see, as the Radical is just trying to have a look inside of the Lambo, pressuring them a little.
Was that a serious move, or was that just to move to the inside and say, look, I'm here and I want to get by?
I think that was just to have a look inside and just gonna, like, you know, show like, hey guys, I'm here, to pressure him a little bit more. So yeah, I'm just hoping that we will see such a good fight as we just saw with Eric and the BMW.
Well, if the Radical is to make it by the 68 car, he's got 1 minute in which to do so. We're entering the final minute. I would expect to see the last lap board coming up very soon. And there we see Lam Yu just putting a lap on the 25 car. No, he doesn't. He will do shortly, I would think. Just less than 1 minute to go as they come around the final corner, and the number 90 BMW there coming around. And yes, the last lap board is out. So this is it. This is Lam Yu. And in fact, the 63 Mercedes has dropped back quite considerably. Lam Yu there 11 seconds ahead. So we didn't see what happened, but the 63 Mercedes lost 11 seconds to Lam Yu on that last lap, a 1:58.2. So, and actually now, perhaps got to be careful that the number 77 car of Frank Yu doesn't approach him on this last lap. Frank Yu still 20 seconds behind, so unless the 63 car has some sort of problem, which we don't know, we haven't seen it, but certainly went a lot slower, maybe just ran wide over one of the corners and lost a bit of time. But it does look as if this man, Lam Yu, will be cruising home to take victory. The second victory of the weekend, 2 wins out of 2, a perfect weekend here in Ningbo for Nick Yellerly and Lam Yu in the number 90 FIS Team AAI BMW. And a tremendous start to Nick Yellerly's China GT career. This will be his 3rd win in just 4 starts as Lam Yu goes to put another lap on the Porsche there. As they come round, you can see the clock having ticked down to 0 now. Lam Yu very much on his victory tour. The 63 car of Eric Zhang setting competitive sector times now, so must have had some sort of problem in the last lap, perhaps running wide over one of the corners. Again, we didn't see what happened there, but running at a competitive pace now, but not close enough to challenge this man, Lam Yu, who rounds the final corner and takes the checkered flag to win round 4 of the GT3 category here in Ningbo. So a fantastic win for Lam Yu and his teammate Nick Yellerly. The 63 car of Eric Zhang coming through to take 2nd position, some 12 seconds behind. And there some of the lapped runners coming through. The 918 car of Zhou Huang having won the GTC category. So that car just managed to stay ahead of the 63. Here we see Frank Yu coming through in 3rd position to finish the race for the 77 car, the Kraft Bamboo Racing Mercedes. And Darilo Young we will see coming through, I should think, to finish 4th. But a very good performance, lots of close racing up at the front, and exactly what we want to see, Yves, from GT Racing.
Yeah, exactly. This race was a little bit more interesting even than yesterday, even though we had yesterday a really interesting one. With the BMW and the Mercedes fighting really close gave us a good show. Also the start with all the pro drivers in the beginning, just, you know, trying to be as quick as possible was really nice. I mean, I thought actually that Adam and Nick would have got a little bit closer together, but in the end it was a really, really interesting and nice race to see.
Yeah, it might have been nice to see Darilo Young a bit closer to the front at the end. Obviously, the 88 car lost out badly with the timing of that safety car being put 1 lap down, while the front 3 were on the lead lap. Obviously, the front 3 cars being driven by the gentleman drivers towards the end of the race, and I'm sure Darilo Young would have liked to pop at them. But nevertheless, the 88 car, Darilo Young and Jeffrey Lee can console themselves with 4th place, and that is the number 90 car. Just a replay there, I think, coming through to take the checkered flag. Or perhaps just going around again, perhaps for another victory tour. Why not? 3 wins out of 4 so far this season for Nick Yellerly, and his new teammate for this weekend, Lam Yu. Of course, he was partnered by Junsan Chen last time around in Sepang for his first China GT outing, and it'll be interesting to hear from them in Parc Fermé. There, the 63 car finishing in 2nd position. The 918 car, that is the Lamborghini driven by Zheng Wanchang and Zhou Huang, that took the GTC honours yesterday as well. So another perfect weekend for the 918 YC Racing Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo. The cars coming in to the pits now into Parc Fermé. And we'll hope to hear from some of the drivers very shortly after they get out. Yves, how are they going to be feeling? Because it's a hot day out there. Are you really shedding bucket loads of sweat in the car on a day like this?
Usually the modern cars, we have air conditioning in the car. Some actually turn it on, some don't. For example, I turned it off yesterday, which has got a bit of boiling in the car in the end. But it's actually really nice to have a little bit of air in the car. But obviously, of course, you're getting really hot in the car because there's not much there's a lot of going on in the car, but the AC is not cooling down you properly.
So we see there Eric Zhang and his teammate Adam Christodoulou, just congratulating him on a job well done. 2nd place, a very solid performance. Of course, they finished 3rd in yesterday's race in round 3, and a lot of the cars coming in now. the first three in the GTC category there. You see the two Lamborghinis in the foreground and the Radical with the gull-wing door open in the background. If you have the AC on in the car, Yves, does that then take power out of the engine? Are you sacrificing a bit of power for a bit more of a comfortable environment?
Yes, you do. So it's about like, I think, depends on the car, but it's about like 2 or 3 horsepower. But I mean, in the end, it's not doing that much on the corners, maybe like 0.005 of a second, so it's not really a lot. But just, you know, it's also important to keep the cockpit a bit cool, because we have all the race electronics inside, which need to be cooled down as well to make everything run properly. So it's kind of important that we have an aircon, first of all for the driver and also for the car itself, so just to keep the car a little bit cool down.
And we've seen a few of the drivers with those special cooling vests as well, with the wires poking out. Have you got one of them?
Not really, because I don't really have issues in the car with heating. So I just, for me, the AC is fine sometimes, and also the cooling vests are quite heavy because you need all the water and all the pipes around you and in the suit, and also the vest is pretty, you know, heavy. So that's why I'm not a big fan of it. But some drivers do like it, and I mean, again, it's not doing, you know, it's not much of the time difference when you have it in the car.
And the drivers there, obviously it's a hot day there. We saw Frank Yu with his bottle of water, which I imagine is a very welcome relief after half an hour or so of very tough racing in this Ningbo sunshine. And we'll look forward to hearing from some of the drivers very quickly indeed. There we see the top 3 cars in the GTC category, the 75 car of CJ Huang and his teammate Wang Tao. That finished in 3rd place. The 918 car, the one in the middle there, that was the victorious car of Zheng Wanchang and Zhoubi Huang. And in 2nd position there in the GTC category is the number 75, the 69 car, my apologies, of, is that 69 or 68? I can't even see from there. The 68 car is the 2nd place car. That is the Radical driven by Liu Kai and Lo Zihe. That was the car that won in the GTC category yesterday. So a very successful weekend for Liu Kai and Lo Zihe. Further down the field in the Porsche one-make the single-make trophy category, Daniel Liu and Jackie Wu took the spoils in the number 69 Porsche, and then the number 10 that you just see being wheeled into the back left of your picture there, driven by the Frenchmen Ben Rouget and Simon Chan. That was the car that took 2nd place in the Porsche one-make trophy, the 52 car of Steve Yin. The other car in the Porsche category sadly failed to take the start, as did the number 98 car of Jeffrey Z in the GTC category, and also the 307 car of Wu Pei, another non-starter in the GTC category. So 15 cars lining up on the grid today across 3 different categories, and your race winners, the number 90 FIS Team AAI BMW of Nick Yellerly and Frank Yu. In 2nd position, the 63 car, Adam Christodoulou and Eric Zhang in the Mercedes, the Toro Racing car. And in 3rd place, the 77, another Mercedes, driven by the Malaysian pro driver Jasmine Jafar and his teammate Frank Yu in the EWS Craft Bamboo Racing Mercedes AMG GT3. 4th place in 4th place, Darrell Young and Jeffrey Lee might feel a little bit aggrieved about the timing of the safety car, which meant that they couldn't mount a significant challenge. I'm sure Darrell Young would have loved to have had a crack at the top 3, but the number 88 car settles for 4th place. So Darrell Young, in his guest appearance this weekend for China GT, replacing Alessio Picariello, the Belgian driver, who is elsewhere this weekend. But Darrell Young picking up some useful points for his team in 4th place there. In 5th position, the 2nd FIS Team BMW, the number 92 car, driven by Ivan Lee and Kevin Chen. And then we had the top 3 GTC runners finishing 6th, 7th and 8th on the road. 9th on the road and 6th in the GTC category was the number 66 car. And that was the Mercedes we saw leading early on of Min Hung and Lin Nan, the green and white car, but that faded as the race went on, ultimately finishing in 9th place. 10th on the road was the victorious 69 Porsche of Daniel Liu and Jackie Wu that won the Porsche single-make trophy category. Then 11th on the road, Dominic Ang in the 25 car, who he and his partner Songbo finished 4th in the GTC category and 12th on the road, 2nd in the Porsche single make trophy. And the final classified finishers were the number 10 Porsche, the Frenchman Ben Rouget and Simon Chan. Non-finishers included the number 9, and that was the number 9 Porsche of Cui Yue and Lawrence Liu that we saw having a little bit of trouble getting out of shape on lap 26, a little bit of contact, and the front right wheel all bent out of position. So a disappointing ending to the race for the number 9 pair of Lawrence Liu and Cui Yue. Before that, on lap 17, the number 91 car, Betty Chen, unfortunately had to pull off with what looked like a mechanical failure roughly halfway through the race, and unfortunately wasn't able to pull off in a position which where the marshals were able to clear the car, so that brought out the safety car. There you see confirmation of the top 5 there, all in the GT3 category, 6th, 7th and 8th on the road, but 1st, 2nd and 3rd in the GT3 category, then 9th on the road, 6th in the GT3 category, that was the 66 car, and confirmation that the number 10 car on the road, that of Daniel Liu and Jackie Wu, winning the Porsche One Make series. We'll hopefully hear from the drivers very soon indeed. They've obviously all got ready, got out of the cars, received the congratulations from the team and the mechanics, and we'll be going down there very soon indeed. And unfortunately, another one of the non-finishers was the number 2 car. That was the D2 Racing Mercedes of Kuo Xin and Peter Liao, which looked as if a bit of a suspension failure over those curbs, and that was on lap 14. Managed to pull off towards the left-hand side of the pit wall. We didn't need a safety car to get rid of that car, but a few laps later, the safety car, when it did come out to rescue the stricken BMW of Betty Chen, then organisers took the opportunity to bring out the rescue vehicle and bring the number 2 Mercedes into a safe position. And Yves, it's never nice when you have to retire in that circumstance, I imagine.
Not really, especially it's like the second race of the season now, the first race in China, so it's really a shame that you have to retire. So yeah, I mean, it is racing, it can happen to everyone at any time, but it shouldn't happen, and you don't want that to happen to anybody. So yeah, it's really unfortunate.
And a very tight, twisty technical challenge, this Ningbo track. We've seen lots of action, lots of tight corners, lots of people spinning off and running wide. How difficult a track is it?
It's a different kind of track compared to the Shanghai circuit. I mean, Shanghai is like a Formula 1 track. It's really wide. You have a lot of space to go to. Here it is really bumpy, really twisty, tight. You know, you have a lot of like go uphill, it's going downhill. It's extremely hard for the car. You don't really have slipstream opportunities. You really have less, opportunities to overtake. So it's really a different kind of track. You need to be really technical with the car, as your driving style needs to be really on point. If you do a little mistake, you're like completely off the line, or even you have to retire because you hit the curb wrong, and you're something of the car will break. So it's a different kind of track, a little bit more challenging, but I think everybody's looking forward to Shanghai now, because that's also one of a really nice track where you can also have a lot of good fights.
Yes, the China GT Championship moving will be featuring at the Shanghai International Circuit later on in the year. This the second stop, 2 rounds at each China GT meeting. We had the first 2 rounds at Sepang just a few weeks ago in Malaysia, the first time that the China GT Championship had featured outside China. This, of course, the second race weekend of the season, rounds 3 and 4 here in Ningbo. And there'll be later rounds at the Shanghai International Circuit, also in Zhejiang, also in Beijing at the Golden Port International Circuit. There you see the drivers, Nick Yellerly on the left-hand side, talking to Adam Christodoulou. Those two very good friends and competitors. They've raced together for a long time. They've raced in British GT, and lots of drivers coming over now from Europe, from places like the UK, and of course yourself from Germany, Yves, to compete in China and in Asia. How do you feel about the development of motorsport in China and in Asia in general?
Yeah, it has been huge. I mean, if you see where the whole motorsport industry was like 5 years ago, now it's massive. I mean, we have huge brands representing in the whole championship, and it's just great to see the interest also of the people in China. you know, seeing, you know, just having more interest in motorsport and actually coming to the races. And yeah, it's good to see, and I think there will be a lot of coming in the next couple of years.
Yeah, China GT now in its 4th season. Obviously, China, not a country with a huge amount of motorsport history, certainly compared with many countries in Western Europe, like UK, Germany, or France, or indeed Japan, looking a little bit closer to home. Obviously, a lot of Japanese manufacturers and a very mature racing scene in Japan. China, not quite there yet, but certainly a great deal of development. You've done a lot of racing in China. How have you seen the development of racing in China over the last few years?
Well, obviously, the amount of drivers got better. You know, we had a grid of, I don't know, like 10 cars, which got now to like 20 to 25 cars in some series. So it's getting really big. The competition is getting much harder now. I mean, the teams are, you know, just having the budget to actually get the top stuff and get the top engineers over. So it's really, it's good to see that everything is getting more professional.
Yes, and many different manufacturers represented across China GT. Here in today's race, we had Mercedes, BMW, Radical, Lamborghini, Porsche, and yeah, very important. Obviously, the China market, a very important market for these manufacturers, and a good opportunity, I suppose, for drivers like Nick Yellerly, like Adam Christodoulou, like Jazeman Jafar. Although he's Malaysian, he spent a lot of time racing in Europe, and in fact, he told me that he knows the European tracks a lot more than he knows the Asian tracks. So certainly a good opportunity, I would think, for them to come over and experience maybe a little bit of a different style of racing as well from what they're used to.
Yeah, for sure. But it's good for them, you know, to also have a little look into the European, and then, you know, because at one point the championships here in China will be so big that like all the teams are just coming in from all around the world. So that's also what I'm hoping for.
And let's have a look at some of the highlights from today's race. Obviously, this from the opening ceremony, the traditional lion dance there. And a very nice spectacle indeed. Nice to see so many spectators and lots of fun being had on the grid there. All the cars lining up in the background, the GT3, GTC, Porsche cars and the GT4 cars. There we see the drivers lining up for the parade. Lots of action, lots of crowds here. And at the start of the race there, you see the car on the right-hand side, the 49 Mercedes, taking the lead. And that was Min Hung taking the lead initially there. Not too much in the way of incident. We've seen a bit of bumping and grinding there across turns 2 and 3 earlier in the weekend, but it looked a fairly sensible start there, Yves, as the drivers went through the first couple of corners here.
Yeah, well, the first couple of laps were really interesting. A lot of contact, a lot of fighting was going on. As you can see here, a little bit of wheel banging. Good fighting, really good show for us and the fans at from at home. So it was a really nice start to the race.
Yeah, lots of interesting action. The 3 pro drivers, Nick Yellerly, Adam Christodoulou and Jazeman Jafar. There we see Jazeman Jafar just taking the number 2 car, driven by Peter Liao. Jazeman in the 77 car, and you saw him there doing a little bit of impromptu grass mowing as he tried to get past Min Hung, who held him up for a few laps, but eventually Jazeman made his way through into 3rd place, and then some good racing up and down the grid. That was Lo Tse-ho getting a little bit out of shape there, the left-hander, but he managed to keep going. Daryl O'Young there in the 88 car coming in for his pit stop, and then Peter Liao pulling off, and Betty Chen pulling off. You see the fire extinguisher going off there, and that incident brought out the safety car, and a little bit of an incident there. We didn't see what happened with the 77, but it looked as if there was a bit of a problem there, and a little bit of argy-bargy at the back there. I don't think we saw that the first time round, but there you see the Porsche with the legacy of a little bit of a collision there. That's the Radical, the number 25 car, stopping, but that car finished the race, so obviously got going again. This battle for position, this was the battle for the lead in the GTC category between the Lamborghini and the second Radical, and then this, the battle for the lead outright in the GT3 category. These 2 cars, the 63 Mercedes and the number 90 BMW, going at it hammer and tongs, banging wheels. The BMW just taking the lead there. Eric Zhang going up the inside, but Lam Yu managing to get back that position. They went wheel to wheel, a bit of wheel banging, and nice close racing between these 2 at this stage of the race, Yves.
Yeah, it was really nice to see. As I said before, maybe the BMW should have given a little bit more space, but overall it was a really nice show, really fair play for all of them. So yeah.
那接下来我们的时间即将交给我们的颁奖台。
那欢迎大家来到2019赛季中国超级跑车锦标赛宁波站 GT3 组第2回合的颁奖仪式。Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podium ceremony of GT3 class at round 2 of China GT Championship 2019 in Ningbo. 首先，让我们有请本场的冠军车队 FIS Team AAI。The winning team of the class, FIS Team AAI。有请本场第3名车手组合，来自于 EWS Crab Bamboo Racing Jasmine Jafar 和 Frank Yu。The second runner-up goes to from EWS Crab Bamboo Racing Jasmine Jafar and Frank Yu。有请本场第2名车手组合，来自于 Toro Racing and JCDCR Adam Cristolo 和藏坎。The runner-up goes to from Toro Racing and JCDCR Adam Cristolo and Eric Zhang。有请本场的冠军车手组合，来自于 FIS Team AAI Nick Yellowly 和林玉。The champion goes to from FIS Team AAI Nick Yellowly and Ling Yu。那让我们欢迎本场的颁奖嘉宾，来自于米其林亚太赛事总监狄月池先生。Let's welcome our president to the award top 3 place getters from Michelin Asia Pacific Motorsport Director Patrick Diaz。Okay, thank you, Mr. Patrick. 那现在留给我们车手的是香槟的时间。Now is champagne time.
恭喜在 GT3 组别全场到前3名的几位车手。在今天下午，我们可以看到非常精彩的表演。除了全场的颁奖之外，接下来还会有细分组别的颁奖。各位观众不要走开。
那么接下来您将看到的是2019赛季中国超级跑车锦标赛宁波站 GT3 Pro M 组第2回合的颁奖仪式。Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podium ceremony of GT3 Pro M class at the round 2 of China GT Championship 2019 in Ningbo。让我们有请本场的第3名车手组合，来自于 EWS Crab Bamboo Racing Jasmine Jafar 和 Frank Yu。The second runner-up goes to from EW Craft Bamboo Racing, Jasmine Jafar and Frank Yu。有请本场第2名车手组合来自于 Toro Racing and JCDCR Adam Cristolo 和藏坎。The runner-up goes to from Toro Racing and JCDCR Adam Cristolo and Eric Zhang。有请本场冠军车手组合来自于 Fist Team AI Nick Yoli 和林玉。The champion goes to from Fist Team AI Nick Yoli and Lin Yu。那让我们有请本场的颁奖嘉宾，来自于京港汽车文化发展北京股份有限公司品牌与体验事业部 BMW 精英驾驶体验总经理周永刚先生。Let's welcome our prisoner to Edward Top 3 Place Getters, General Manager of Goldenport BMW Driving Experience, Mr. Zhou Yonggang。好，请我们的颁奖嘉宾留在台前，与我们的获奖车手合影留念。好，谢谢我们的颁奖嘉宾周永刚先生。那接下来留给我们车手的是香槟的时间。Now it's champagne time。那么接下来您将继续看到的是2019赛季中国超级跑车锦标赛 GT3 绅士组第2回合的颁奖仪式。Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podium ceremony of GT3 AM class at the Round 2 of China GT Championship in Ningbo。首先，让我们有请本场的第2名车组合，来自于 YC Racing 闵恒和林楠。The runner-up goes to from YC Racing, Min Heng and Lin Nan。有请本场冠军车手组合，来自于 Fist Team AI 李月勋和陈君华。The champion goes to from Fist Team AI, Ewan Lee and Kevin Chen。有请我们的颁奖嘉宾，来自于京港汽车文化发展北京股份有限公司品牌与体验事业部 BMW 精英驾驶体验总经理周永刚先生。Let's welcome to our prisoner to Edward Top 3 Place Getters, General Manager of Goldenport BMW Driving Experience, Mr. Zhou Yonggang。好的，请我们的颁奖嘉宾留在台前，与我们的获奖车手合影留念。好的，那谢谢我们的颁奖嘉宾。那也恭喜我们的获奖车手。现在留给我们车手的是香槟的时间。Now is the champagne time。 那么接下来您将继续看到的是2019赛季 China GT 中国超级跑车锦标赛宁波站第2回合 GTC 组的颁奖仪式。Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podium ceremony of GTC Class at the Round 2 of China GT Championship 2019 in Ningbo。首先，让我们有请本场的冠军车队，来自于 YC Racing。The winning team of the class, YC Racing。有请本场的第3名车手组合，来自于 YC Racing 黄熙展和王涛。The second runner-up goes to from YC Racing, CJ Huang and Wang Tao。有请本场第2名车手组合，来自于 Extreme Motorsport 刘凯和卢思豪。The runner-up goes to from Extreme Motorsport 刘凯 and Lu Siho。有请本场冠军的车手组合，同样来自于 YC Racing 郑婉成和周碧煌。The champion goes to from YC Racing 郑婉成 and 周碧煌。那有请我们的颁奖嘉宾，来自于金港股份副董事长兼联席总裁苗立国先生。Let's welcome our presenter to award top 3 place getters, Vice Chairman of Golden Port Enterprises, Mr. Miao Li Guo. 好的，谢谢我们的颁奖嘉宾，也恭喜我们的获奖车手。接下来留给我们车手的是香槟的时间 ，Now is the champagne time。那接下来您将继续看到的是2019赛季中国超级跑车锦标赛宁波站第2回合 GTC 绅士组的颁奖仪式。Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podium ceremony of GTC AM Class at the Round 2 of China GT Championship 2019 in Ningbo。首先，让我们有请本场的第3名车手组合，来自于 YC Racing 黄熙展和王涛。The second runner-up goes to from YC Racing, CJ Huang and Wang Tao。有请本场第2名车手组合，来自于 Extreme Motorsport 刘凯和卢思豪。The runner-up goes to from Extreme Motorsport 刘凯 and Lu Siho。有请本场冠军车手组合，来自于 YC Racing 郑稳成和周碧煌。The champion goes to from YC Racing, 郑稳成 and 周碧煌。有请我们的本场的颁奖嘉宾，来自于电影出品人、曾 Media 创始人王子女士和1865创始人福布斯青年领袖刘小北先生给我们的获奖车手颁奖。Let's welcome our president to award top 3 place getters, Miss Wang Zi and Mr. Liu Xiaobei. 好的，那请我们的颁奖嘉宾留在台前，与我们的获奖车手合影留念。好，谢谢我们的颁奖嘉宾和今天获奖的车手。接下来您将继续看到的是2019赛季 China GT 中国超级跑车锦标赛宁波站第2回合单一品牌组的颁奖仪式。Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podium ceremony of one make category at round 2 of China GT Championship 2019 in Ningbo。首先，让我们有请本场的第2名车手组合，来自于69车队 Ben Rajat 和陈思维。The runner-up goes to from 69 Racing Team Ben Rajat and Simon Chen。有请本场的冠军车手组合，同样来自于69车队 Daniel Lu 和 Jackie Wu。The champion goes to from 69 Racing Team Daniel Lu and Jackie Wu。有请我们本场的颁奖嘉宾，来自于懂车帝形象大使王开女士。Let's welcome our president to award top 3 place getters, image ambassador of D-Car Nico。好，谢谢我们的颁奖嘉宾，同样恭喜我们今天的获奖车手。现在留给我们车手的是香槟的时间 ，Now is the champagne time。
车迷朋友、各位观众，我们下一站6月份上海国际赛车场